Before we begin this evening's commencement exercise, may I remind everyone to please silence all personal communication devices in respect of those individuals seated around you and in honor of our seniors. I also want to publicly thank the maintenance, custodial, and support staff for their dedication in pulling off an outdoor commencement tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ron Barronwell, principal of Cedar Springs High School. Members of the Board of Education, fellow school administrators, Cedar Springs Public Schools faculty and staff, parents, family members, and invited guests. It is with sincere pride and excitement that we are gathered here this evening with the class of 2019 for this, the 139th commencement for Cedar Springs High School. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and join the members of the high school choir under the direction of Mrs. Linda Tata in the singing of our national anthem. Let us also remember the heroic men and women who have fallen establishing or defending our great country, and think of those who have or are currently serving in all branches of the United States military. Gentlemen, please remove your caps. Thank you, choir. Our state award-winning choir this year. At this time, will the seniors take their places on the bleachers and the audience remain standing? Class of 2019, you may be seated. Audience, please be seated. Could row three scoot together a little bit more there, please? All right. At this time, I call upon Caitlin Grove for a special recognition and request.
Hello, I'd like to take a moment to remember the students of the class of 2019 that are not here with us today in a moment of silence. Thank you. And remember, once a Red Hawk, always a Red Hawk, no matter where you fly.
We have assembled several individuals on stage this evening, and I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce all of them to you. Please hold your applause until the end of the introductions. Will these individuals please stand and be recognized? Beginning with the Board of Education. Board President, Heidi Reed. Vice President, Matthew Schaffner. Secretary, Tracy Slager. Treasurer, Trent Gilmore. Trustee, Misty Bowser. Trustee, Jeff Rivard. And Trustee, Shannon Vanderhyde. From the administration, Superintendent, Mr. Scott Smith. Retiring Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, Ms. Jo Spry. Reader of Names, Mr. Trey Reed. Commencement Speaker, Ann Custis. Salutatorian, Brighton Miller. And Valedictorian, Ethan Baker. Let's give these individuals a round of applause. It is now my honor and privilege to call before you this evening Superintendent of Cedar Springs Public Schools, Mr. Scott Smith, for the official welcome.
Good evening. On behalf of the Board of Education and the entire Cedar Springs Public School family, it is my honor to welcome the graduating class of 2019, parents, family members, distinguished guests, friends, and staff members to this commencement celebration. Tonight we are fortunate to be able to gather together as a community to celebrate this group of seniors. Tonight we celebrate all that they have accomplished in the classroom over the course of their educational journey. Tonight we celebrate with them for the people that they have become. And tonight we share in the excitement for the adventures that they will encounter in the future. In addition to applauding the individual accomplishments of these outstanding students, it is fitting that we recognize the fact that none of these individuals, these talented graduates, have reached this juncture in life without a team of individuals who have worked together tirelessly at their side in the support of their efforts. Graduates, class of 2019, please turn and give your loving supporters a hearty round of applause. Graduates, your accomplishments as of May 30, 2019 are just the beginning. Think back to how much you knew on your very first day of kindergarten. Think back to how much you knew on the very first day of your senior year. Friends, it is easy to be better than you were 13 years ago. And similarly, it's easy to be better than you were 9 short months ago. But what the majority of us find most challenging in life is to be better than we were yesterday. To be better than you were yesterday, you must focus on doing the little things to the absolute best of your abilities and to give yourself grace when you don't get things right the first time. My mom used to remind me that failure isn't fatal and success is never final. Our capacity to grow over time is one of the many things that makes life so special. Jim Hackett, President and CEO of the Ford Motor Company and former CEO of Steelcase, spoke of time in 3 simple dimensions in a recent interview. Hackett broke time into three things: before, now, and next, as it relates to our journey on earth. So tonight, as we celebrate together, be mindful of your before. Think of all that you've accomplished and those with whom you've been in your quest and in those accomplishments. Consider your now and be present, fully present with family and friends throughout this season of graduation. And lastly, get ready for what's coming next for you. Use each day as an opportunity to grow. If you embrace that mindset, you will find yourself on a path that will help you make a profound difference on the world around you. Thank you for the honor of serving as your superintendent. Please stay connected to the Cedar Springs Public Schools family. Let us know how we can best serve you and hopefully your family in the future. Thank you.
In following Cedar Springs' long-standing tradition, we will begin the formal program with our student speakers. The class of 2019 Salutatorian is Miss Brighton Miller. Brighton. Brighton is the daughter of Brandon and Christine Miller of Cedar Springs. She has been awarded an academic and the Robert L. McIntyre Memorial Scholarship, the Max Wisner Award, the President's Educational Award, and the World Language Department Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Brighton Miller with her salutatorian address.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I never thought I'd be standing here in front of you all today. The thought of standing in front of a couple thousand people was pretty terrifying to me. So I'm going to ask for your patience as I try and talk to you today. In fact, this is exactly what I'd like to talk to you about, patience. This is a value we learn at such a young age. when we ask mom and dad 100 times if we're there yet, or we wait for dad to be ready to play with us. Unfortunately, the value of patience is often underemphasized as we grow older. Our society is becoming filled with more and more instant stimuli, such as text messages and streaming sites, that we often undervalue patience. We now don't have to wait to see someone in person to communicate, or even wait for our favorite TV show to come on at 9 o'clock. With this change in technology and function of society, we are caught being extremely impatient. We sit by our phones, and we wait for that text back. When we first meet someone, we don't give them a chance to be a part of our lives because they make a bad first impression. We are so impatient to truly get to know the people around us. If a certain type of math problem seems hard, instead of taking the time to solve it, we take the impatient route and impulsively quit the problem, or more likely, we Google the answer. Or as an athlete, if we don't see playing time right away, we say this isn't the sport for us, and we run away. Even looking back at our senior year, we were so impatient to graduate that we didn't cherish the moments that made us who we are. Our sudden shift in society's value of instantaneous results has led us to have intolerance and a lack of persistence. I fear that these same habits will carry over into our adult lives. If we don't like a boss or a coworker, we will check out completely from work. But rather than creating a dreadful working experience, we must look at this as an opportunity for us to grow and learn from other people. Many people may give up on a major because they take one class that seems to be challenging to them, so they think the solution is to completely dismiss the plan. I would say this is the most important thing I can say to the class of 2019. It's not mind-boggling or out of this world, but important nonetheless, and is a value that has gotten me to where I am today. Therefore, I cherish it. Our patience in life must also go beyond that for others and expand to our own selves. Every one of us wants to make it big and live a luxurious lifestyle, but in all reality, these things aren't just handed to us. It takes a lot of time and effort to reach and accomplish lifetime goals. Our next step in life is going to be a brand new opportunity for us to be patient with ourselves. We all want to have a career that makes us the big bucks, but those are the jobs that are going to require the most learning and growth, and consequently money and time. I'm not saying that these jobs are an unlikely goal, actually the opposite. Every one of us has the capabilities that we need in order to succeed, but college might not be a 4-year plan. It might take 8 or even 10 years. Or maybe your plan is to go into the military or go straight into the workforce. Nevertheless, rather than giving up on a career just because we think one class is challenging, or are struggling to pass a fitness test, or have to start out at a low wage, let's give ourselves the opportunity to grow and learn. We're going to need time to develop the knowledge and abilities necessary for any possible career plan. So be patient with ourselves. And let's be honest, college and further education might not be for you. But this message still applies. I would say most of us are going to eventually become parents. When it comes to caring for other people, especially your own children, you absolutely cannot give up. No matter how good you are with kids, not a single one of us is going to be a perfect parent, just as our parents weren't perfect with us. We're all going to make mistakes along the way, but learning from those mistakes is going to make us into great parents down the road. So I ask the class of 2019 and everyone in attendance today to be patient with yourselves. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to make the best financial decisions. You're not going to like every aspect of your job. You're not going to understand how adult life works right out of high school, or maybe ever. But you can be patient on your journey to your goals. Whatever challenge in life that we are trying to face, it is going to take time for us to understand how to figure it out. Give yourself that time because you're a work in progress and deserve nothing less than doing great. Your greatest challenges in life lie ahead, so don't give up on others, or more importantly, yourselves. I know that there are people sitting in front of me who have the potential to become doctors, lawyers, nurses, psychologists, and soldiers, if only you give yourselves time to pursue these dreams. So, class of 2019, be patient with yourselves and enjoy the journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Brighton, for your salutatorian address and encouraging words to your classmates. You have represented Cedar Springs Public Schools and Cedar Springs High School well, and we know your success will continue as you study and participate in athletics at Aquinas. Next, I call to the podium Valedictorian, Mr. Ethan Baker. Ethan Baker is the son of Richard and Jennifer Baker of Sand Lake. Ethan will be attending Michigan Technological University this fall, where he has earned an academic scholarship and plans to major in mechanical engineering with a current interest in aeronautical or aerospace engineering. But he's keeping all areas of the vast mechanical engineering field open as options when it comes to actual career choices. I've also come to learn recently that Ethan is an avid fisherman and outdoors enthusiast, always willing to drop a line in the water to catch some bass, bluegill, or any panfish. He has never had a walleye fishing trip to Canada, though, but would like to have that opportunity someday. So for those of you still wondering what to get the valedictorian for a graduation open house gift, you might consider that. That came from me. It's a sense of humor to Ethan. Who knows? Just putting it out there. Anything's possible, right, Ethan? Yeah. This is being live streamed around the world, so you just never know what might show up in your mailbox someday. I'm trying to get you to Canada, even though you're already partway there by going to Michigan Tech. Oh, yeah. Ethan has also been an athlete, playing on the high school basketball team as a guard for 4 years in high school, and was on the middle school cross-country team, as well as a distance runner on our high school track team his freshman year. The highly esteemed Mr. Painter had this to say about Ethan. Ethan is truly a curious individual, willing to question, ponder, and explore not only the content he is studying in class, but also extensions of the content and content beyond the scope of high school. At last night's senior honors convocation, Mr. Jagowski added, I had Ethan as a student in chemistry and AP statistics and was always impressed by his mathematical curiosity and passion about the content. He always wanted to know every practice, understand every concept, and tackle every task. The sign of a true mathematician. Ethan earned a combined score on the SAT of 1,480. If you don't all know, the maximum score on the SAT is a 1,600. He has attained the highest level of academic achievement in all of his core and elective classes, which included 9 advanced placement courses, along with all of our industrial arts and technology courses and 2 independent study courses with Mr. Ringler. Ethan's academic excellence, character, and leadership abilities have earned him the following scholarships, awards, or honors. Highest academic honors with cumulative GPA over 4.29. OK Conference Scholar Athlete, President's Education Award. Michigan Tech has awarded him the Presidential Platinum Scholars Award, the University Student Award, and the Mechanical Engineering Department Scholar. The Industrial Arts and Technology Department Award was presented to him last evening, and the United States Congressional Medal of Merit was awarded by U.S. Representative Justin Amash to Ethan Baker on May 4th. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan Baker with his valedictorian address.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Barenwald, for that introduction. That was awesome. All right. Mozart once said, all I insist on, and nothing else, is that you should show the world that you are not afraid. Be silent if you choose, but when it is necessary, speak. And speak in such a way that people will remember it. So here it goes. First of all, on the behalf of the class of 2019, I want to thank all of those who helped us get here, because we wouldn't be the people we are today without you. From the parents that raised us, to the friends who shared in our wanderings, to the teachers who helped us learn as students and as people. Throughout our time as high school students, the relationships and experiences we had here are what shaped us. And it is those relationships we will remember. Thank you for all your support and guidance throughout our time here. Life is a journey, and for the last 4 years of it, they've gone by fast. Stepping into the world of high school as freshmen, we were worthy of the nickname of all freshmen that my classmates know. Just learning to look towards the future and how to differentiate the four hallways. But as the years passed, we learned. We learned that Mr. Painter's retake test procedure is exhausting. That Mr. Ringler's chili is the best. That we're oversimplifying the theme. Thanks, Mrs. Dolby. That Mr. G has an awesome lawnmower. And that the right hallways don't have windows at the end, and so on. Somewhere along the line, we might have even learned a little bit about ourselves. And if we had Mr. Stewart for AP World History, we learned to do hard things. It's lessons like these, the lessons that we take from here, that will guide us in what's to come. And at the end of it all, here we are. Though we grew as students, we also grew as people. Now we look to the future. Life is a journey. We made it through high school, and it has been the greatest part of our voyage yet. But this is just a checkpoint along the road. I imagine it as if we are all in our own sailboat. As high schoolers, we sailed through the bay that is Cedar Springs, learning how to weather storms and how to steer our ship. Now we face the open ocean and the endless horizon, with no clear path to follow or peaceful shores to rest at. The sea is unforgiving and brutal, yet it is also awe-inspiring and beautiful. Vast and intimidating, but it is also free and full of opportunity as you travel from place to place on calm and stormy water on your way towards that horizon. It's this kind of world that we venture into now. From here, our paths will disperse, but we all share where we started. Cedar Springs will always be a part of who we are. And I will never forget the amazing people and teachers that I met during my time here, especially those who counted as more than teachers and friends, but also as mentors, and how they helped me grow into the person I am today. In life, I believe we define ourselves by the paths we take, and that is the choices that we make. So I say, hold on to your principles, since the world will surely test them, and live so that you can be proud of who you are. It's been a long and fast 4 years, and from where we started, we've come a long way, even though there's still a long way to go. Forever students of life, we'll keep learning and keep growing as we go down our own paths. And for the final remark of this metaphor-ridden speech, I want to congratulate our graduating class as we celebrate the conclusion of one chapter in our lives and the beginning of the next. Thank you.
Ethan, tonight you have stood before us having displayed the best academic achievement of all of your classmates. We look forward to hearing of your great accomplishments in the future. Maybe someday one of us will fly an airplane you have helped design or operate a piece of machinery you created. Congratulations and best wishes at Michigan Tech. Let's give the class of 2019 Valedictorian, Salutatorian one more round of applause for their speeches this evening and academic accomplishments. Now turning to our commencement speaker. This introduction is the one I've probably had to rewrite the most because we've worked together for 12 years. The class of 2019 has asked Mrs. Ann Custis to be their commencement speaker. Born and raised in Bay City, Michigan, and a graduate from graduate from Bay City Central High School. After high school, Mrs. Custis had her sights set on attending Grand Valley State University, where she majored in elementary education and earned her teaching degree. Since earning her undergraduate degree, Mrs. Custis has continued her education with a master's degree in school counseling from Western Michigan University and an educational specialist degree from Michigan State University in ed leadership. Mrs. Custis started her educational career in White Cloud as a 6th grade teacher and later went on to be the middle school, high school assistant principal for White Cloud, and eventually the middle school principal, before she came to Cedar Springs Public Schools in July of 2000 as principal of Beach Elementary School. During the first 10 years with Cedar Springs Public Schools, Mrs. Custis served as principal of both Beach and Cedar View Elementary. She then spent the next 4 years at Red Hawk Elementary as the 6th grade principal and gifted and talented coordinator, the titles that she holds today. Then through some administrative resource realignment, Mrs. Custis came to the Cedar Springs High School as co-administrator from 2013 to 2018. While at the high school, Mrs. Custis was instrumental in creating the early middle college program in partnership with Grand Rapids Community College, which has awarded 38 students with a tuition-free Associates of Arts degree from our 2 graduating cohorts thus far, and we're sending off cohort 3 from the class of 2019 to GRCC this fall. This has been Mrs. Custis's, by far, greatest accomplishment in her career. Just this school year, Mrs. Custis returned as Red Hawk Elementary principal in order to have more time with her family and to travel. Mrs. Custis is married to the love of her life and her high school sweetheart, Brian Custis. They have 3 amazing children, Cameron, who is 19, and they're right down here. Why don't we just have them stand? They're all here. Yeah. Cameron's 19, Lauren's 17, and Kate is 14. Lauren's over here. Oh, okay. In her free time, Mrs. Custis can be found at her cottage along the Saginaw Bay, enjoying her time with family and friends or watching her children play the sports they love. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to call upon Mrs. Ann Custis, who was proudly chosen by the class of 2019 as their commencement speaker.
When I was originally asked if I would consider being your commencement speaker, I was a bit reluctant. In fact, I'm pretty sure I said to your class president, "Oh gosh, Sarah, I'm really more of a hug you behind the scenes, come to your graduation party kind of gal. I'm not necessarily one to impart these great words of wisdom out to folks entering the next phase of their adult lives." The truth is, I'm comfortable speaking to large groups of people, but only because it's usually singing the praises of one of you, or the wonderful education the collective staff of Cedar Springs Schools has afforded you. When I found out I was selected, while extremely honored, initially panicked, I agreed simply because it was your class. While I've been so blessed to have worked with so many classes to have gone through here the past 20 years, it was your class I was privileged to spend so much time with. What's fascinating about the very small role the speech has in tonight's commencement of your pre-K-12 education is the interesting twist that this town has helped me to grow as an adult as well. When I first started here as newly married, a new mom, and only had a few years of administration under my belt, and I'm guessing I likely thought I knew more than I did. I had to read and study and read and study and read and study some more, and most importantly, really listen and learn from the astonishingly intelligent staff and community members we have here. Over the years, I've watched and learned from the countless acts of wisdom and strength from a very mighty small town. When I sketched out a few words on paper, I thought the title of the speech might be Small Town Values. While I'm still convinced that is the title, what I began to realize is that so many ideas I began to grapple with had connections to the positive psychology movement. While the term positive psychology might sound a little hokey to some, the scientific study of human flourishing or an applied approach to optimal functioning certainly is not. Money, quantity of friends, number of advanced degrees, high-profile careers, or number of likes on Instagram are absolutely meaningless compared to the study of the strength and virtues that enable individuals, communities, and organizations to thrive. Martin Seligman, a researcher at the Ivy League institution Penn, ended up making his life's work looking for the characteristics and perspectives that could be practiced that led to people feeling the most fulfilled in life. Seligman speaks of PERMA, which is an acronym for the 5 facets of well-being. While I study those 5 facets, I can't help but think of the numerous connections to the same values this town has instilled in you. PERMA. I think permagrin. It makes you think of happiness, that's how you remember it. While there's a nuanced difference between happiness and well-being, PERMA, or permagrin, helps me to remember these conditions. PERMA is an acronym for positive emotions, engagement, relationships, meaning, and accomplishments. Positive emotions. What brings you a sense of joy, flow, where you lose track of time? Think of what it's like when you're dragging into school on a Friday and there's entertainment at the Y. Gabe Park's rock band, our amazing choir, the freshman Martine, whom nobody knew was a techno DJ, or the 18-year-old young man whom most didn't realize lived by himself in an apartment and worked second shift to live, self-taught playing Beethoven. Seeking out and celebrating many gifts of those around you brings such positive emotions to them, but also to those enjoying such a spirited welcome. Think of the time when school was released for third hour for the Special Olympics basketball game. The truth is, many of you could have snuck out and not have gotten caught. But we had 1,000+ people cheering, singing, and dancing at the top of your lungs, not only for our team, but the opponents as well. Research says you actually feel better when you do something for someone else. I think that's one of the greatest gifts this community teaches people. In Cedar Springs, people don't just say the cliche words, let me know if you need something. They think about what the person or family needs, and they just do it. They take over the food, they open up the shelters, even their own homes to those who've lost power. They run crazy, successful can drives. They set up sign-up geniuses of support. They shovel the driveway for neighbors that need help, and they wrap their arms around family and friends that have tragically lost a loved one. They just show up and do. Engagement. Be a part of something positive. Think back to some of the best times of your school career. As much as we'd like to think it was the carefully crafted lessons perfectly aligned to state standards, and you have learned a tremendous amount. I'll put our staff up honestly against anyone anywhere. The reality is, you'll remember most are the experiences. Not just when a teacher has real talk with you, but also the games, the dances, the musical, battles of the fans, countless acts of service learning, the way this small town has taught you to value these things. Packed houses at plays. I'm confident we broke a fire code once or twice. The dances, you guys go hard at school dances. When you have 1,000+ students in a high school and over 700 of them are coming to a homecoming dance, and when your football team makes a deep run in the playoffs and the community sends off 7 spirit buses and welcomes you home with fireworks, police escorts, fire trucks, and fans blaring music, honking wildly, welcoming you back to this town. All when other schools triple in size can't even fill 1 spirit bus, and not even a quarter of their student body attends dances, and seats sit empty at performances. Relationships. Deep, meaningful relationships with others are vital to your well-being. It's not how many followers you have on Instagram or the number of likes a photo has. Others with relatively few online friends or even fewer likes on a photo may have a greater sense of belonging as they may have cultivated deep, meaningful relationships. In fact, the executives at Instagram are in discussion of removing the number of likes from your photos because they know what it's doing to society. But their struggle remains for how to collect and share data on what's trending on a larger scale beyond our small social networks. People in small towns oftentimes feel a greater connection or meaning within the communities they live. In fact, the Washington Post last year ran a piece touting people living in small towns on average are happier people than in large urban cities. While that's not uniform for each person, of course there's many people living in large urban areas whom are very satisfied. On average, it's the folks that live in small towns that tend to feel more a part of a community and do something that bring meaning to their lives. Meaning. Find meaning in your life, either through your work, your church, or a cause you're passionate about. By doing this, you'll have a greater sense of well-being. In what ways might you contribute to the larger community in which you live? And finally, accomplishment. You'll grow exponentially when you're setting goals to better yourself. On a night like this, with the culmination of one part of your life, envisioning of the next, think, what really are your ambitions? What do you want this next phase to look like? How will you engage and contribute? As for the next stage of learning, what will really bring you joy? Oftentimes the four-year degree is emphasized, but the reality is we try really hard here just to help you realize you need to keep setting goals for yourself in learning. If you're passionate about photography, keep studying your craft and be the best photographer you can be. Do work that fills your bucket, but also use it in ways for the larger good. Oftentimes in the state of Michigan, skilled trades are overlooked. There are many programs that are 18-week, 1 week, 2 years, two-year certificate programs. They pay extremely well, and you might have a more fulfilling career hands-on than reporting to an office. In the end, it's people who set goals that feel most accomplished. Write out plans for yourself, and if they're big targets, then work backwards to map them out into manageable chunks. And then remember to plan mini celebrations for yourself when you accomplish them. Start tonight. Take time to make memories while celebrating the long hours you've invested to get to this point. And remember to show gratitude to your parents, family, educators, mentors, and friends that have helped you along the way. In closing, I'll share one of my favorite quotes. Be faithful in the small things, because it's in them that your strength lies. Wherever your life takes you, however you choose to realize your PERMA, this small town is behind you, championing you to find your best life full of authentic happiness and well-being. Thank you.
Ann Costas, I know the students have all appreciated you over the 5 years that you had them as principal, maybe even some 6. And will continue to benefit from your knowledge and wisdom shared with them tonight. You have always had a great balance of reflection and inspiration in everything you do. Not only are you the longest serving building administrator on staff today, but also the one with the biggest heart. You are and always have been a passionate advocate for all students of Cedar Springs Public Schools. So thank you. Let's give her one more round of applause. I now call upon the senior class representatives for their farewell address.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Galloway. I am the class of 2019's senior class president.
And I am Emma Fromm, and I am the senior class of 2019's vice president.
We've officially made it to the day that many of us have been all dreaming of for years. It is finally graduation day, and we can look back on the time that we have spent together in celebration. Our class has accomplished so much while in high school. The past 4 years have been a success for our class in all aspects, from sports to academics to fine arts and our clubs. The class of 2019 is filled with individuals who have made a major impact on both our school as well as our community. This class's reputation is being known for the hardworking and the motivated students. And we've all showed this to the community time and time again through our accomplishments and through our achievements. We've all helped make Cedar Springs a better place and known for its genuine character and for its great sportsmanship. While achieving remarkable accomplishments, the class has felt the constant support from the classmates and the community and have all been able to bond over the celebrations. It is crazy to think of all the class has been able to accomplish in just 4 years and the powerful legacy that we're leaving behind for other classes to follow. Through all the changes and the difficulties that high school has given us, we have been able to create a connection between each other and throughout the community. We are not only classmates, but we are friends. We have supported each other through hardships and triumphs and have managed to be a cohesive group of students thriving together. The class of 2019 was undoubtedly forced to overcome so much, but have found the strength and the perseverance to push through to create a contagious sense of generosity and courage. Our high school experience has gifted us the opportunity to learn countless life lessons and become stronger people while being surrounded by support and encouragement. The past 4 years provided unforgettable memories that we're going to be able to take with us throughout the rest of our lives. We're going to be able to cherish these memories and look back on the limited time that we have spent together. On behalf of the Student Council, we are all proud of the Red Hawks here sitting tonight. Thank you.
On the behalf of the class of 2019, we would like to thank the wonderful staff members and coaches of Cedar Springs Public Schools and all that they have done for us. We feel like the friendships and the environment that have been created in our class were influenced by the teachers and staff that has supported us over the past 13 years of our lives. They have provided constant support and encouragement in our academic endeavors and personal experiences. Teachers and staff members have provided safe spaces for us to open up and get support during hard times in our lives. They were not only teaching us the materials, but life skills as well. They showed us that if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your lives. So many of our teachers created welcoming environments and led us to outstanding growth and knowledge in every subject. Our teachers have allowed us to become our own unique selves and to demonstrate strong character that we can implement throughout the rest of our lives. Our theme this year was CSHS Inspire. We have been personally inspired by stories of our classmates and what they have overcome in their lives. These stories inspire us to keep going and strive to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Through the bonds that we have created, we know that we can continue to inspire each other and also that those that we encounter throughout the rest of our lives. We are an amazing class, and we know that we can make an amazing impact on the world. All we have to do now is go out and do it. And in the infamous words of Mr. Painter, good luck. Don't suck. Thank you.
Thank you, class leaders. You have done an amazing job serving your class, and with the support of your classmates, promoted the theme of Inspire throughout the school year. Not only have you given back to your school, but you have shared your time and the thousands of hours you have spent through community service in the greater Cedar Springs community. Job well done. As a reflective moment of significance on commencement and the many years of memories shared by the class of 2019, I have called upon band directors Mr. Adam Borst and Miss Lauren Matulis to prepare the members of the Cedar Springs High School Band for a special performance this evening of a musical selection. This year's performance is entitled Dublin Dance by Belgian composer Jan van der Roost. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Cedar Springs High School Band under the direction of Mr. Adam Borst. Ladies and gentlemen, your Cedar Springs High School Band. Board of Education President, Mrs. Heidi Reed, and the members of the Board of Education. It is with great pride and jubilation that the faculty and administration of Cedar Springs High School present to you the class of 2019. Of the 224 seated members before you tonight, 192 have met all the graduation requirements or program goals as set forth by board policy. And as principal, I recommend that each of them be presented with their diplomas. We are also excited to have 22 seniors who will represent Cedar Springs' third early middle college cohort, who after the completion of the program next year will receive both their high school diploma at that time and an associate's degree from GRCC. The Board of Education will also be presenting this evening the remaining exchange students with their certificates of attendance as well. Would Mr. Verwise, Mrs. Cooey, and Mrs. Perro please begin to prepare the seniors for the presentation of diplomas as the Board of Education take their places on stage for the awarding of them. I now call upon Cedar Springs High School alumnus, Mr. Trey Reed, for the official presentation of the class. Please stay mindful that everyone here tonight wants to hear their senior's name be read throughout the conferring of the diplomas. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Trey Reed.
Row 1, please rise and step forward to accept your diplomas.
Carly Warner. Kaylin Shears.
Alyssa Roloffs. Aubrey Woodwike. Savannah Perkin. Abby Lynn Van Gessel. Sailor Breen. Skylar Garcia. Jessica Jones. Megan Slater. Dakota Hall. Jasmine Mangus. Maddie Grifford. Allura Rickard. Melody Hughes. Heidi McCauley. Bill Hammer. David Wawersick. Zachary Kerr. Alexis Follett. Tyler Jackson. Devin Swatzel. Zachary Gully. Josh Allen. Joel Kalenda. Taven Gardner. Riley Smith. Courtney Pienta. Nicole Scotster. Jared Haas. Kabdul Kassis Sisi. Carson Swalene. James Powell. Row 2, please rise and step forward to accept your diplomas. Row 1, please return to the bleachers. Row 1, please be seated. Taylor Ray Warner. Macy Huntoon. Maddie Huntoon. Katia Corwin. Tony Henges. Austin John Kibbe. Sam Hutchinson. Nathan Draper. Logan Kobayashi. Autumn Atkinson. Gabe Secord. Bailey Robidic. David McIntyre. Heather Rose Mann. Allison White. Emma Fromm. Justin White. Aaron Smith. Cade O'Connor. Trent Benke. Aaron Bowens. Mackenzie Johnson. Jacob Klein. Shane Snowden. Natalie Thorne. Natalie Hamilton. Abby Hopkins. Ignacio Gomez. Zachary Stinson. Chloe Gould. Alessandra Roba. Irina Forbes Iturios. Dakota Burleson. Terrence Panting. Matthew Miller. Peyton Newman. Row 3, please rise and step forward to accept your diplomas. Row 2, please return to the bleachers. Well, good try. Row 2 has found their seats. Jersey Brown. Crystal May Walker. Kadrian Dines. Mason Francis. Jacob Swinehart. Austin Emery. Jakin Nagel. Jamie Crowfoot. Eris Crystal. Ebony Kanisha Hunter. Danielle Van Gorp. Jasmine Guerrero. Courtney Johnson. Katie Milligan. Reed Reed. Austin Nelson. Xavier Anderson. Cody Gott. Caden Rodwell. McCoy Beacons. May Larson. Wyatt McGoskey. Mallory Shivak. Austin Bilesma. Tyler St. Amour. Dylan Cudney. Jacob Meredith. Dylan Patterson. Gabby Endress. Kayla Lang. Hannah Hovanek. Alexandria Valkyr. Madison Douglas. Jenna Porter. Rose Beatty. Thomas Eason. Row 4, please rise and step forward to accept your diplomas. Row 3, please return to the bleachers. All right, row 3 is seated. Ashley Mae Wise. Nicole Jean Vanderhoff. Brooke Michaela Weeks. Sabrina Rose Caldwell. Audrey Ann Davis. Scott Charles Peckover. Lucas John Schuring. Mackenzie Lynn Kernat. Sarah Elizabeth Martin. Mackenzie Lynn Noga. Derek Egan. Wyatt Knopf. Brayden Marvel. Cody Andrew Rideout. Michelle Chapman. Destiny Ray Katie. Madison Lynn Irwin. Leah Catherine Carpenter. Allison Nicole Plug. Emily Almus. Sandy Dang. Tessa Spinney. Ethan Smith. Haley Woody. Alexandra Thompson. Anthony Houtsler. Chase Langton. Jasmine Clark Erkey. Eben Ben Dixon. Carol Ann Merlington. Reagan King. Larissa Yashika Brown. Sarah Marie Galloway. My brothers Trevor Holt Reed and Thomas Trey Reed. Samantha Finch. Michaela Lewis Frank. Anna Elizabeth Gibbons. Haley Elizabeth Van Houten. Row 5, please rise and step forward to accept your diplomas. Row 4, please return to the bleachers. All right, row 4 is seated. Kimberly Grace Kuiper. Luisa Rapova. Katharina Engara. Olivia Elise Messler. Taylor Ray Jagger. Savannah Eve Williams. Riley Ray Rivard. Dane Michael Conley. Chloe Dawn Boomgard. Elena Nicole Mail. Brandon Jacob Cassidy. Paul David Fankhauser. Zachary Robert Cardinal. Connor Brecker. Michaela Gwynn Page. Joshua Michael Walker. Colton Joseph Pope. Emily Grace Pearson. Ethan Charles West. Jenica Ray Buckner. Karina Lisbeth Hernandez. Holly Estrada. Alyssa Sorensen. Taylor Marie Cherry. Carissa Lee Briggs. Samuel Michael Chenoweth. Colby Andrew Swank. Logan Lawrence Hull. Jarrett Stephen Hoogerhide. Cody Jake McHenry. Gage Gardner. Carson Johnson. Tyler Salinas. Ricky Wood, the fourth. Anthony Lance Brew. Emily Lynn Brown.
You too?
Row 6, please rise and step forward to accept your diplomas. Row 5, please return to the bleachers. Row 5, please be seated. Abby Faith Suarez. Lily Mae Fulkerson. Julian Lewis. Emily Mae Vantoff. Madeline Ray Titus. Katie Lynn Lewandowski. Jenna Nicole Alkenbrack. Hannah Marie Vinton. Maximus Xavier Deepak. Matthew Caden Spencer. Ethan Leonard Spicer. Colin Mitchell Haroon. Samuel Jacob Blanchard. Josh David Beebe. Jonah Michael Drake. Alexander Kenneth Kirkwood. Chandler Marble. Evan Gully. Dawson Wood. Abigail Jabot. Allison Ripma. Alexa Jean MP. Morgan Nauta. Rebecca Yaklin. Dylan Williams. Brittany Edwards. Ryan Casey Dreyer. Graham Bank. Lucas David Pinton. Ryan Paul Ringler. Seth Robert Biggs. Mackenzie Tawney. Caitlin Marie Grove. McKeely Lemery. Cassandra Frazier. Maritza Zamora Herrera. Haley Marie Zank. Tucker McDonald. Brighton Coral Miller. Ethan Loy Baker.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing the end of tonight's commencement ceremony. I ask that you remain seated and allow the graduates to exit the track first. The recessional will be following the moving of the tassel and the proclamation. Thank you. Wait.
ahead, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct privilege to present to you the newest graduates of Cedar Springs High School, the class of 2019.